The air crackled with anticipation, a palpable tension that seemed to grip the very heart of the city. Dohyuk, the unbreakable shield of Seoul, stood resolute against Mayhab, the harbinger of destruction whose mere presence sent shivers down the spines of all who witnessed. Their conflict was not just a battle of strength, but a struggle for the very soul of the city, a clash that would determine the future of Seoul. Dohyuk carried the hopes of millions on his shoulders, a burden that would crush a lesser man, yet he stood tall, unwavering in his resolve. Mayhab, a being of immense power and malevolence, reveled in chaos and sought to break Dohyuk, both physically and mentally, to bring the city to its knees. The clash was inevitable. A storm brewing for far too long, a tempest that had been building with every passing moment. The fate of Seoul hung precariously in the balance, teetering on the edge of destruction and salvation.
I know what's at stake. I've faced countless foes, overcome impossible odds, and stood against the darkest of threats. But something about Mayhab feels different, more sinister, more dangerous. This fight could shatter even my unyielding spirit, push me to the very brink of my endurance. Yet I stand tall, ready to face the storm head-on, with every ounce of strength I have left. For me, there's no other choice, no other path to take. I am their protector, their beacon of hope, the one they look to in their darkest hour. I will fight, even if it means my demise, for the city, for its people, for the hope that must never die.
The battle erupted with the force of 1,000 suns. Dohyuk and Mayhab, two forces of nature, collided in a whirlwind of destruction. Buildings crumbled, the earth trembled, and the very air seemed to scream under the pressure of their might. Dohyuk, battered and bruised, fought with the tenacity of a cornered wolf. Each blow he landed was a testament to his unwavering will. Each wound he received a mark of his unwavering defense. Mayhab, a whirlwind of raw power, seemed unstoppable.
I won't falter. I channel the hopes of the city, the faces of those I swore to protect, into my strikes. I fight with the fury of a man possessed, knowing that surrender is not an option. Every movement is a symphony of pain and defiance. Every breath, a victory against overwhelming odds.
The battle raged on, a chaotic dance of devastation. As the dust settled, a scene of utter devastation unfolded. Buildings lay in ruins, the streets scarred by the battle's fury. Dohyuk, battered and broken but alive, stood amidst the wreckage. Mayhab had been vanquished, but at a terrible cost. Yuri and Giwon, their faces etched with worry, rushed to Dohyuk's side. He was a symbol of hope, but even symbols could break. The city rejoiced in the victory, but the true cost of their salvation was hidden beneath layers of rubble and pain.
They celebrate the victory, but do they see the price he pays?
He carries that burden so they don't have to. But for how long?
Section 4. The Burden of Constant Triumph.
My victories have become a double-edged sword, a blessing and a curse intertwined.
With each triumph, the city's expectations grew, their dependence deepened. They saw him as invincible, a beacon of hope in their darkest times. He was their shield, their protector, but what happened when the shield itself began to crack under the weight of their expectations? The cracks were subtle at first, barely noticeable.
The constant battles, the never-ending threat, they take their toll. Each fight leaves a mark, a scar that never truly heals.
Dohyuk, the Unbreakable, was slowly being ground down by the very city he swore to protect. His resolve was strong, but even the strongest steel can bend. He was their hero, yet in a way he was also their prisoner. Trapped by their adoration and his own sense of duty.
They cheer for my victories but remain oblivious to the sacrifices I make. Each cheer is a reminder of the weight I carry.
The city, blinded by their own relief, failed to see the cracks forming in their hero's armor. They celebrated, unaware of the storm brewing within him. The burden of their expectations, heavy and suffocating, threatened to consume him. Each day the weight grew heavier, the air thicker.
The cycle continues: victory, relief, expectation, and the ever-present fear of the next threat. It's a relentless loop, with no end in sight.
Dohyuk was trapped in a spiral, each victory pushing him closer to the brink. The edge was near and the abyss beckoned. Section 5. Whispers of Doubt.
As I slipped into unconsciousness, whispers of doubt began to creep into the city's celebrations. The joy that once filled the air started to dissipate, replaced by an unsettling silence.
The victory, though decisive, had been brutal. The scars of battle were fresh, and the cost of triumph weighed heavily on everyone. The hero, their invincible champion, lay wounded, his life hanging by a thread. His once formidable presence now seemed fragile, a stark contrast to the image of invincibility he once held. The citizens of Seoul, accustomed to Do-yuk's unwavering strength, found themselves facing a terrifying question. What if their hero didn't rise again? The thought sent shivers down their spines.
The thought, once unthinkable, now worms its way into their hearts, casting a long shadow over their hard-won victory. It was a fear that gnawed at their very core.
The whispers started subtly, a murmur of concern among close friends and family. Conversations that were once filled with hope now carried a tone of dread. Soon they grew louder, spreading through the streets like wildfire. The entire city was abuzz with speculation and fear, each whisper adding to the growing sense of unease. The city, so used to celebrating, now held its breath, united in fear and uncertainty. The festive lights seemed dimmer, and the once vibrant streets felt eerily quiet.
The doubt, once a whisper, now echoes through the empty streets, a chilling reminder of our vulnerability. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the usual hustle and bustle.
Do-hyuk, their protector, their hope, lay wounded, and with him the city's spirit seemed to waver. The once unbreakable bond between hero and city now felt fragile, teetering on the edge of despair.